Namaste and welcome to Lahari's classes. Welcome back to Indian Polity article by article series. This will be part 4, that is Directive Principles of a State Policy. We will be discussing about articles 36 to 44 in part 1 of this lecture, and in the next part we will discuss the remaining articles. So till now we have completed till fundamental rights. I have given the link of that playlist in the comment section below, so please do check it out. So let's begin. What are these directive principles of state policy is? They are enshrined in the part 4 of the constitution. They are guiding principles for the state to make policies and laws such that it establishes social and economic democracy in our country. So these principles were inspired by Irish constitution, and they are not enforceable by courts, unlike fundamental rights, but they are fundamental in the governance. Article 36 defines what is state. The state has the same meaning as in Article 12, as we have discussed in fundamental rights. It means that the state includes the government, parliament and state legislatures, local authorities and all government controlled bodies. Whichever authority or organization or a body is under the government control, those come under state, definition of state. So Article 36 decides who must follow DPSPs. The state must follow DPSPs. So Article 37 talks about the application of DPSPs. See, as we have already discussed, DPSPs are not enforceable by any court. That means you cannot file a case to enforce them, but they are morally and politically compulsory. That is, accordingly the state or the parliament or the legislature must make laws and policies such that for the government, for the governance of the country, it is good. It is the duty of the state to apply these principles when making the laws. So they are just guidelines, or they are like instructions for the government to make welfare oriented laws. Next is Article 38, which talks about social, economic and political justice. So question comes up like this: in which part of the constitution it is said that there is social, economic and political justice for the public? When that kind of question appears, it is the DPSPs that enforces these justices amongst the people. So Article 38 clause 1 says the state must promote the welfare of the people by creating a social order where social, economic and political justice guide all national institutions. Article 38 clause 2 states that the state must strive to reduce income inequalities and eliminate inequalities in status, facilities and opportunities among individuals and groups. That is, the government can make schemes like providing subsidies, providing reservation to economically poor section of the society, and by through MG Narega, that is Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Generation program, which provides specific number of days employment to the rural people, and Ayushman Bharat are meant to reduce inequality and improve the living conditions of the people. Next is Article 39. It declares the principles of policy for the state. That is, a state while formulating any law must follow all these principles. There are 6 important goals under this Article 39. This is very important article, so please do remember. So Article 39 clause A talks about right to adequate livelihood. The state can implement skill development programs and self-employment schemes in order to provide livelihood to the people. And Article 39 clause B talks about distribution of material resources for common good. Example, land reforms. The land can be redistributed to the poor and landless farmers, like using natural resources for public benefit. And Article 39 clause C talks about prevention of concentration of wealth. So like anti-monopoly laws, limiting unfair corporate dominance, etc. like giving opportunities to every section of the people, like every section of the society. Article 39 clause D talks about equal pay for equal work. So irrespective of gender, there shouldn't be any gender discrimination. If a man and woman are performing the same duty or have the same government job, they must get the same salary. They should not be discriminated on the grounds being gender. Article 39 clause E talks about protection of workers from abuse. So, for example, the state can implement laws against unsafe factories like child labor rules. It can design such that child worker abuse can be prevented, etc. Article 39 clause F talks about protection of children and youth from exploitation. So, by giving them adequate education and ban on child labor in hazardous industries, the state can make such kind of laws and policies. Next is Article 39A, that is equal justice and free legal aid. That means the state must ensure fair access to justice and provide free legal aid to those who cannot afford it. For those who cannot afford having lawyers and advocates, they can approach the state, and so that the state can provide free legal aid to them. If a poor person is accused in a court, the government provides a free lawyer through NALSA or LSA, Legal Services Authority. See, NALSA. NALSA provides free legal aid to the poor. And Article 40 talks about organization of village panchayats. This means the state shall take steps to organize village panchayats and give them the authority to function as units of local self-government. Like 73rd Constitutional Amendment created a 3-tier Panchayati Raj system, which is Gram Panchayat, Panchayat Samiti, Zilla Parishad, in order to manage their local roads, drinking water, sanitation, village development plans, etc. States hold regular panchayat elections, provide funds and empower them through state laws. Nothing but the state at highest level can empower the panchayats at the ground level or at the local level in order to implement the state laws and look after the local things. Next is Article 41. It talks about right to work, education and public assistance. The state shall within its economic capacity makes provisions for securing right to work, education, public assistance in cases of unemployment, old age, sickness and disablement, in other cases of undeserved want. So, according to this principle, the Parliament had made Right to Education Act 2009, that which provides free and compulsory education for children between 6 to 14 years. And so this satisfies this directive principle, that is right to education. Next is right to work and public assistance. So right to work principle can be implemented through MG Narega. That is, in 2005, through an act, the government came up with this program which guarantees 100 days of wage employment every year to rural households. This satisfies the right to work principle. And to right to social assistance principle, this old age pension schemes were brought for senior citizens, widows and disabled persons under National Social Assistance Program. So it gives financial help. Next is Article 42, which instructs the state to provide just and humane conditions of work and maternity relief. That is, the state must make provisions for securing just and humane conditions of work and for maternity relief for women. This is for all, humane conditions and just and humane conditions for everybody irrespective of gender. And when the women were in their maternal period, they have to provide some maternity relief also. So this principle states that accordingly the government has implemented this Maternity Benefit Act, which was amended in 2017, which provides 26 weeks of paid maternity leave and also providing creche facilities in establishments with 50 plus employees. So whichever organization has more than 50 employees, then there must and should have these creche facilities. Next is Factories Act 1948, which strives to provide safety, sanitation work to the laborers working there, and to look after the working hours and welfare standards for factory workers. And recently in 2020 also labor codes were implemented to improve the working conditions and welfare protections of the workers. Next is Article 43, which talks about living wage, decent working conditions and cottage industries. That is, the state shall endeavour to secure to all workers a living wage, decent working conditions, social and cultural opportunities, and promote cottage industries in rural areas to empower the rural people. For example, the government has implemented this Minimum Wages Act. Accordingly, it guarantees minimum wage, like irrespective of states. There has to be minimum wage that every state must follow. The wage can exceed that minimum limit, but cannot decrease cannot give less than that minimum wage. For example, if the government has decided minimum wage as 100 rupees, then no state can give less than 100 rupees as minimum wage, but it can give more than 100 rupees to the workers. Next is Maganrega Act 2005, which provides rural jobs and income security, as we have discussed earlier, and KVIC, Khadi and Village Industries Commission, which supports khadi, handlooms, pottery and rural crafts, which empowers the rural people, and PMEGP, that is Pradhan Mantri Employment Generation Program, which helps create small rural industries and self-employment, which satisfies that cottage industries principle. Next is Article 43A, which talks about participation of workers in management of that organization. It states that the state shall take steps to secure the participation of workers in the management of industries. Workers shouldn't just be employees, but they have to have a say on how the factory or company is run to improve cooperation, reduce the conflict and make industry more democratic. So it was inserted by 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act to strengthen the socialistic principles. So in line with this principle, from the Industrial Disputes Act 1947, the workers can establish works committees. Any factory with 100 plus workers must create a committee with equal representation of workers and management in order to voice out their concerns and problems with the management. And also Labour Code 2019-20 provides for the cooperation between employers and employee unions, continuing the spirit of 43A. Next is Article 44, that is implementation of Uniform Civil Code. So what is this Uniform Civil Code? It is nothing but one common set of personal laws in civil matters for all citizens, irrespective of religion. Like the civil matters include the marriage, divorce, inheritance, adoption and succession. So it states that the state, that is the government, shall endeavour to secure for citizens a uniform civil code throughout the India. It should make laws and policies such that there shall be only one civil code for all the people, irrespective of religion and anything. For example, Goa, even before independence, had a common civil code, which was a Portuguese civil code, which used to be applicable to all communities. So recently, Uttarakhand has become the first state to create a full modern uniform civil code law after independence. That means irrespective of religion, there will be only one law for divorce and one law for marriage. For inheritance of properties also, a single law is followed for every citizen in that Uttarakhand state. So this is all about the part 1 of DPSPs, and in the next part we will discuss about DPSPs from Article 45 to 51. So thank you so much for watching till the end. Please subscribe for more Indian polity lessons. God bless you all. Jai Hind.